Okay, so I asked people why you guys should join the Discord, and then two of my moderators just started arguing. So the link is in the description. Go join so you can make fun of these two losers. All right, bye. All right, I finally got Noli to level 100. Now I can make a video about Noli and where people will actually believe me and. Damn. Okay. So, finally, after so long, Noli, he's out. He's really, really fun, and also pretty hard to play. And if you're here, there's a good chance that means you don't know how to play him. So, in this video, all four of you watching are going to learn how to play as Noli, how to use his abilities effectively, and how to play against Noli, including how to easily and immediately tell which generators are fake before you even start doing the puzzles. I think that's something a lot of you would want to know about, so stay for that, because I am going to gatekeep that information until at least halfway through the video. So, first, tips for playing as Noli. Let's go over his stats first. He has a sprinting speed of 27.5, which is faster than John Doe in 1x. So, you know, not horrible. It's not as fast as Cool Kids or Jason's, but, you know, it's fast enough that he can hold his own in a chase. One interesting thing about Noli is that all of his abilities, no matter what, unless there's some weird resistance or weakness number, all of his abilities will deal damage in multiples of 5, which means that you can pretty easily calculate exactly how much damage you need to kill someone. So, for example, either a Void Rush into a Slam, 2 M1s and a Nova kills a guest, or just 4 M1s and a Nova. And there is something I should probably mention. It might be fixed pretty soon, but it is something I should probably bring up. Noli can sometimes, as of right now, be bugged, where he just cannot attack. He can't attack, he can't use any of his abilities. From my observation, it seems that this occurs if you're stunned just before the windup for Nova finishes. So just be aware that this can happen, and if it does happen, reset. It shouldn't happen too often. I've only experienced it like 3 or 4 times myself, but just something to keep in mind. And also, if you try to get Noli in this bugged state on purpose, you can go to hell. No, don't do that. No. Noli's first ability is not really an ability, but it's listed as a passive. So, Hallucination. Noli can apply Hallucination. That's crazy. It's almost as if that's like a status effect unique to him or something. Never would have guessed that though. So survivors with Hallucination will be highlighted to you. Highlighted in purple, and the stronger the hallucination effect is for them, the more purple they will be. Insert Five Nights at Freddy's joke here. An interesting thing is that it can override Last Man Standing detection. If it overrides the Last Man Standing detection, even if the survivor has undetectable, they'll still be highlighted. This is because Forsaken is a very well-programmed Roblox game with no bugs at all. Hallucination is applied when a survivor does a fake generator puzzle, 1 level of hallucination per puzzle done, and if a fake generator is completed, they instantly get hallucination 3. Or if you use Observant, where it will apply hallucination if they're 20 studs away from you. The further away you are from Noli when he teleports, the stronger the level of hallucination is. Now, Most of you probably already know this, and you're telling me to shut the fuck up and move on. So I'm gonna go do that. Noli's second passive, Prankster. If the killer is Noli, 2 fake generators will spawn on the map. They will be in the same spots as the actual generator spawns. And when you're actually playing as Noli, you kind of forget that these exist, and they're really just to give you 2 more places to teleport to. Sometimes, if someone is stupid and does the fake generator, they'll get highlighted, so you can know where they are, and if you can get a Void Rush slam on them if they get to Hallucination too. But it's not consistent, and you shouldn't be relying on it. If your main form of applying Hallucination should be Observant. Stab. It might not seem like it, and you might not believe me when I tell you this, but Noli's Stab actually has the same hitbox, windup, and linger as John Doe and 1X's M1s. Like, I didn't believe that at first either, but no, they are just exactly the same. His windup just seems so much longer for no reason, I don't know why. It only deals 25 damage, which is technically the lowest damage overall, because Jason and 1X's M1s both apply damage over time effects, which, if I'm not mistaken, lead to 28 total damage each. Yes, you have the weakest M1, but technically you can kill in more hits than Jason, I'm pretty sure, because his bleeding stops working at a certain point. You have the lowest damage M1, but also it's still a 4-shot on 100 health survivors, so like you don't really care a lot of the time. So just treat it like John Doe's and 1X's M1. Just start attacking a little before you're within range of the survivor. So once you actually get to the range, the windup will have already started and you can land it. And if you're still having troubles landing M1s besides that, you should probably not be playing Noli. Void Rush. When you're just starting to play Noli, you should be using this as much as possible because the controls are a bit weird. I think this only applies to PC, but to continue using Void Rush, you need to hold it down, and it's not a recast to cancel, which can throw you off a lot. It threw me off a lot, so get used to using it as much as possible early on so you can get used to the hold controls, and it'll be a lot better. You're going to accidentally cancel it like 3 times per round when you're first starting out, I guarantee you, but just keep using it, get used to it, and once you get in the habit of not letting go, it'll just be second nature to you. Now, you can cancel the rush even before it starts, so if you think the person you're going for is going to dodge it or like moves out of the way, cancel the rush. Don't waste the don't waste it. If you cancel it before you start the rush, the cooldown is only like 0.2 seconds or something. I don't remember. If it hits someone, it deals 10 damage and applies Hallucination 2, I believe. And if it hits someone with Hallucination 2 or stronger, it'll hit them and then slam them into the ground, which deals 40 total damage. If it doesn't end up being a slam, you get Void Rush back and you can recast it. So usually this will be done for hitting someone, and then now that they have Hallucination 2, using the re-rush on them to deal 50 total damage. However, you can either skip that first step and just apply Hallucination with Observant and do the 40 damage immediately, or you can go for someone that only has 30 health, because the first hit of the re-rush only deals 20 damage. The slam is a second hit that adds 20 damage. So if you hit them again, and then they die before you grab them and slam them, you get Void Rush back. And as long as you don't slam or miss, you can recast Void Rush as many times as you want. And it is such a good feeling when you get like a chain of 4 hits. That situation doesn't arise that often, but again, like a lot of things I'm going to be telling you, it is probably good to keep it in mind. Now, if you're rushing towards someone and then they dodge it, cancel the rush. Let go of the button, cancel it. Don't go farther than you need to. It's not like Cool Kids dash where you have to commit to the full dash. You can cancel it whenever you want. The turn speed for Void Rush is boosted during the first 0.8 seconds of the dash, so if you're going to make any sharp turns, make sure you do it right after you cast it. You can hold sprint during your re-rush to boost the speed, but this is risky. You usually don't want to be wasting stamina during your rushes. It's something to keep in mind, but definitely don't overuse it. The best opportunity to use it is if you're confident that you will hit it if you sprint, but you're not sure if you'll hit it without sprinting. Which, granted, the situation doesn't arise that often, but again, like I said, something to keep in mind. You're gonna be hearing that a lot this video. Now, remember that while charging up the rush and actually rushing, you don't regain stamina. So it's not like Cool Kids Dash. You can't just use it as a free traveling with stamina regaining. You do have to actually use it wisely in a chase if you're at low stamina, because it can be pretty bad if you miss it, because that means that the survivor you're chasing is going to be at a lot higher stamina than you are. However, if you're at full stamina, there is no penalty to actually using it because it doesn't drain your stamina. So it is useful to initiate those chases while you're at full stamina, and you can get close to the survivor without draining stamina, whereas just running up to them will drain a bit of stamina. Now, although it is risky to use mid-chase, it isn't a bad tool to use during a chase. It can be used in the same situations as Walk Speed Override, for example, but with less risk because you don't have to commit to it and you can turn. Unlike Walk Speed Override, though, you don't want to use it as a punish, as you have Nova into M1 for that. Now, keep in mind, like with Cool Kid, guests will block you if you try to use your dash at them. But unlike Cool Kid, you can actually counter that by canceling your dash just before you reach them. So they block nothing, and then you can get a hit on them. Now, it does take a bit to get used to how close you can actually go before it counts as a hit. So make sure you also get used to that if you're going to go for plays where you trick guests like that. As long as you keep in mind that you should stop rushing a little before you think you should, it's not too hard.
Oh, also Void Rush can hit through walls. You can use that to your advantage as killer, and you should keep that in mind as survivor to not stand near thin walls. I'm definitely not recording this a day later because I forgot that I should mention that Void Rush can go through walls. Yeah.
Now, Nova. In my opinion, the best damaging ability that Noli has, one of your most versatile abilities. It can be long range, easy area effect damage that pulls survivors towards the center. You can snipe people from a range. It's good crowd control. You can block off a looping area if it has thin enough walls. It can guarantee a hit on someone that's trying to juke you up close, or you just like aim it at the ground in their general vicinity, and they're just boom, at least 15 damage, if not 40, because you can follow that up with an M1. It can be detonated early mid-throw by recasting it, which can catch someone that's trying to dodge it off guard. Keep in mind, the explosion radius is huge when you hit a survivor. It's decently big when you hit a wall, and it is smaller when you detonate it early or it hits the ground. So generally, the safest option is to try to aim it at a wall, but that situation does not arise often. There's not going to be that many people camping around walls, so you want to be detonating it mid-air most of the time in order to catch people off guard that are waiting a bit too long to dodge it or think they've dodged it by just avoiding the actual projectile. Nova does technically have a limited range, but that hardly ever matters. You're never going to be trying to go for someone that far away with Nova, considering how long the windup is and how slow the projectile travels. If you hit someone with Nova close range, M1 immediately after you see the explosion, because that is guaranteed 40 damage. They can't do anything to avoid the M1 unless they're a guest, in which case you don't want to immediately follow that up with a hit because they will block it and probably parry you, and that's bad. Crazy, I know. You know how I just mentioned like the insane amount of uses that Nova has? Yeah, it only has a cooldown of like 20-something seconds, so you can just spam the shit out of it with little consequence. It's amazing. You are such a good ability. No one talks about it though, I swear. It's so versatile, it's such a small cooldown, and it's basically guaranteed damage a lot of the time. Observant. Now, because it applies hallucination to almost everyone, and that does cause them to be highlighted to you, it can be treated like 404 error and unstable eye, where you just pop it whenever you need to find your next target or just see where a target went. Yeah, pop it. Everyone's there. Wow. But it's also really useful because you get free map-wide traversal, which is really useful because a lot of the time, if people know what they're doing, they're going to be on the complete opposite side of the map as you. Well, guess what? You can teleport to the opposite side of the map in a few seconds. And if someone's doing any fake generators, they'll be highlighted. And you can see them doing that because they get a hallucination applied to them. So you can see them crouched down next to the generator, and you can just teleport right on top of the fake generator they're doing, and that's a free chase initiated. Now, do keep in mind, you can be stunned while you're using the move. So when you're doing it, be careful of any sentinels around you, because especially 2 times in chance. But mostly 2 times. They will take advantage of you if you try to teleport without knowing they're there. So, like I mentioned before, it applies hallucination to almost all survivors. Any survivors that are at least 20 studs away from you will get hallucination 1, and the farther away they are, they get hallucination 2 or 3. I think it's 50 studs for hallucination 2 and 100 studs away for hallucination 3. As previously mentioned, this is a global highlight, but it also lets you set up any immediate Void Rush slams. Because they already have hallucination 2 or 3, you can just charge into them and it'll immediately deal the 40 damage without needing you to do the first hit first. First hit first. Great job, Soup. Expand your fucking vocabulary. So because of this, it should be used whenever necessary to constantly apply hallucination to everyone. Not only can this put a bit of pressure on the survivors, but, you know, Void Rush. One thing you should note, you can't teleport to a generator if it's too close to you. So if you're trying to catch someone off guard in a chase or something, if you're way too close to it, it will not let you teleport there. It's indicated by the teleport icons being slightly more transparent. That means you can't go there. Not allowed. Observant is your best friend during Last Man Standing. For what I assume should be obvious reasons. You see where the survivor is, so you can just teleport to the closest generator to them, and you don't have to spend the entire time running over to the other side of the map and letting them use a Bloxy Cola or whatever. You can just teleport to them. Noli is insane during Last Man Standing because of Observant. So try to have it available if possible, and if not, try to have at least Void Rush available, because both of those will let you traverse the map very quickly. Now, do not forget that Observant can be cancelled, which is useful for faking people out when you're chasing them to make them think you're going to teleport away, but nope, surprise, I'm still coming after you, bitch. Or dodging a sentinel and trying to go for an easy stun. But get used to only pressing the key once. It is pretty easy to accidentally press it twice, which immediately cancels it. So you should get used to being very careful that you only press it once. There are situations where it can be helpful, but generally you don't want to be using Observant in a chase because it is both extremely telegraphed that you're going to do it, and it's a decently long animation, which allows them to get away from whatever generator you're trying to teleport to cut them off. So, that's all the tips for playing as Noli. Hopefully that helps at least some of you. Noli is very difficult to play, and it requires a bit more than just, oh yeah, just remember to do all this. The best way to learn how to use all the moves, how to synergize the moves together, and how it best suits your playstyle is to just practice Noli as much as possible yourself. Like, if you really need to, play as nothing but a survivalist and grind those generators so you keep getting Malice to play Noli as much as possible. That's honestly probably the best advice I can give you. Practice makes perfect is a corny line, but it does apply in this situation very well. Now, for those of you that don't really care all that much about playing Noli and just want to know how to counter this bitch, stick around. I got some things for that too. Hallucination. Hallucination can only be applied if you do a fake generator or Noli uses Observant. As the name implies, hallucination causes you to be tripping balls. Now, Hallucination 1 will change your timer to an incorrect value. It can either randomly switch between times or make it look like you have less time than you actually do, which I have killed someone because they thought they were scot-free, but I actually had like a minute left. Don't fall for it. It can also change the amount of generators that are completed on the side of your screen, but obviously if all generators are completed, that does nothing because it makes the prompt disappear. Hallucination 2 spawns one of the following. If there's an Elliot on your team, it has a chance to spawn a fake pizza, with the pizza also corresponding to the skin that they're using. If there is a Builderman on your team, it can spawn a fake dispenser, which again correlates to the skin they're using. And if there is a Dusakar on your team, it will spawn a fake Dusakar shield. One easy way to tell if a shield is fake or not is if you look up, the shield will be coming from a Noli face, and it will quickly fly at you before breaking the fake shield. The fake pizza and dispenser will pretend to heal you, but once the hallucination effect ends, surprise, none of that health was actually healed. And the fake Dusakar shield, as you might expect, doesn't actually give you resistance, but it makes it look like you have resistance. Now, Hallucination 3 spawns a fake Noli. It can catch you off guard. The devs did a decently good job of making the Noli look pretty real, which can make you scared if you're really low on health. A few things you should remember about the fake Noli. If it only starts chasing you when you look at it, that is a pretty big indicator of a fake Noli, because looking at it will sometimes cause it to just start sprinting full speed at you. If you're not below 50% HP, then when the fake Noli gives you the limping animation, your face will still be your regular face. And your face also won't change to the damaged face when you get hit. If you're doing a generator, fake Nolis will not kick you off the generator when you get hit, when normally all damage does. The fake Nolis are client-sided, so if it only seems to think you exist, that Noli is either the biggest tunneler in this game's history. I say that as if that isn't a viable strategy for this video game, but shut up, I'm making a joke. Or it's a hallucination. Generally, if you know what you're looking for, it's not that hard to differentiate if Noli is fake or not, but sometimes it can catch you off guard if either the Noli or the hallucination moves weirdly. Now, one thing to keep in mind, the fake Noli can only use M1. So if the Noli uses any other abilities, that's the real one. Start running. Hallucinations will end eventually, and that's signaled by a sound effect along with a laughing Noli face appearing on your screen, or a black and white smiling face if it's the you are an idiot skin. Now, here's the big one. Prankster. How can you tell which generators are fake? So, Noli spawns 2 fake generators at the beginning of each match, and if you do a puzzle, it gives you 1 level of hallucination, and if you complete a fake generator, you get hallucination 3 instantly. I mentioned this earlier, I don't know why I'm repeating myself, I might be stupid. Anyways, fake generators don't give you rewards for completing them, even though it says they do, and they do not decrease the timer. All completion will be immediately removed on the generator when you repair it. So, here is every single tell for if a generator is fake or not, from least obvious to most obvious. If a noticeable hallucination effect appears immediately after you complete a puzzle, for example, your timer starts tripping balls, or the number of generators completed jumps from 2 to 4, that's probably hallucination, and that means you should stop doing that generator. If there is a very, very faint Noli face on the top of that generator, it is pretty hard to see, but that face will always be there. If the timer is not decreased when finishing a puzzle, it's a fake. However, if you have a hallucination changing what the timer looks like for you, the timer will not decrease even if it's a real generator until the hallucination ends. So keep that in mind. If any numbers are skipped in the puzzle, for example, it goes from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then jumps to 7, that's a fake. That tell is present in every fake generator puzzle, no matter what. if after you complete the puzzle, the number of XP or money it gives is incorrect, that's a fake generator. If you don't have the VIP Game Pass, it should give $5.15 XP, and if you do have the VIP Game Pass, it should give you $5.18.75 XP. If it doesn't give you that, that's fake. If the currency symbol is incorrect, for example, instead of giving you $5, it gives you 5 yen or 5 cents. That's fake. If the text, instead of saying completed a generator puzzle, it says completed a puzzle or completed a generator puzzle with an exclamation mark, that's fake. If the physical progress bar on the generator is the wrong shade of green, it's fake. The most obvious tell that will let you tell which generators are fake before you even start doing them, if the wires on the generator have these black glitchy sections on them, it's fake. Every single fake generator will have these no matter what. So before you do any generator, if the killer is Noli, just take a second to check if the wires are right. Now, of course, if you already know which 2 generators are fake, and like you've already found them, just rush every other generator, because only 2 fake generators can spawn, but that should be common sense. Now, how to counter stab? I mean, it's an M1. Just dodge it like most other M1s. But, however, Noli's Void Star does disappear during the wind-up, which I'm pretty sure does that for most abilities, but the other abilities also have a sound effect accompanying it, so it's pretty easy to tell if it's Nova or an M1. Now, while the M1 does have a sound cue, it is quieter and sometimes harder to notice when you have Nolan Void blasting into your ears with the drums making you deaf. So just pay attention to the Void Star. If it disappears, he's winding up an attack. As I mentioned before, expect Nolis to start attacking just before they're near you, so get ready to dodge them even if they're just out of range. Otherwise, it should be treated the same as John Doe's M1 and 1X's M1 because they have the same hitbox stats. Void Rush. Noli has an animation and an extremely obvious sound cue when he's charging Void Rush. So if you hear the Void Rush charge sound, either round a corner as soon as possible and hug the wall so they physically can't hit you unless they pull some bullshit where they hit you through the wall, because that happens a lot actually. Or you can try to dodge it like Mass Infection, where you start going one way and then immediately switch to the other direction, because the turn rate is only increased at the very beginning of the dash, so they won't be able to swerve quickly enough to hit you after you juke it. Now, with most dash abilities, you should be paying attention to your surroundings at all times, especially if you have Hallucination 2 or higher, as that will mean instead of the 10 damage grace you have at first, you are going to take 40 damage immediately upon being hit, which is bad. Now, if you're guessed and you know the Noli is good at the game, don't always go for a block, because like I mentioned before, if they know what they're doing, they're gonna stop rushing just before they hit you, and your block will block nothing. Never rely on Taff Traps. The King's Chariot cannot be stopped. Nova. I don't have a lot of tips for Nova. It's honestly pretty hard to play against, but stay away from thin walls, be wary of your looping areas. It has a very large hitbox, so if you even think that the Noli can hit you by just using Nova on the wall next to them, stay further away from the wall. Always keep an eye on Noli, if possible, to see when he's using it and where he's aiming. Do not start thinking you're safe after you dodge the physical projectile, because they can detonate it midair, and the blast radius might still hit you. Of course, with most killers, don't get zoned, and don't stay near Noli if possible. He can just use Nova on the ground next to him, and you will be caught in that, and that will be guaranteed damage. Don't stay near other survivors if you're around Noli. If any one of them get hit, there is a very good chance you will get hit as well. Like before, pay attention to your surroundings. You don't want to get blown up. As guests, you should be blocking or charging immediately after being hit by Nova if you get hit near Noli, because they'll usually just try to immediately follow it up with an M1. Block is more rewarding, but it is risky if they know you're going to go for a block and they're expecting you to do that. So generally charge is recommended, as the resistance 5 after hitting them will prevent any damage being taken. Now, Observant. There is a visual cue and a sound cue on every single generator when Noli's using Observant, and there's a special, louder, and more obvious audio and sound cue if that generator is the one Noli is teleporting to. It will be like phone ringing, and then if he's teleporting to it, the phone ringing will become louder, and there's gonna be like a build-up, and it's really obvious. If you hear that noise, just stay away from it. It's not that difficult. I don't know why there's so many people that just stay around the generators when Noli's teleporting them. Like, what the fuck are you doing? So, of course, if he's teleporting to a generator, stay as far away from it as possible. Get as far away as you can. If a Noli uses it mid-chase, don't run in the opposite direction until the teleport animation starts, because, as I mentioned before, they can cancel Observant. Run the opposite direction of the generator that they're teleporting to if you start seeing the animation, but also keep in mind that Noli can't teleport to a generator if it's too close to him, so you can also use that to your advantage, but it is more lenient than you might think. So just, if you hear the noise, stay away. Now, expect to have Hallucination every single time the ability is used, which it's really obvious when the ability is used, because every single generator on the map will have a visual and sound cue. Be wary of Void Rush when that happens, and make sure any Nolis chasing you are real. You can stun Noli during the Observant animation to cancel it, but it's risky if they know what they're doing, and you usually only try doing it with Chance or 2-time. 2-time can do it pretty effectively with no wind up on their stun, and Chance can do it pretty safely because their stun is long range. After Noli teleports, he gets stun immunity. Don't camp the generator he's teleporting to get a free stun. It's not gonna work. You're just gonna die horribly. If you think you're going to be the last man standing, you should probably be staying away from any generators if that's possible. And once LMS starts and you hear that he's teleporting to a generator, get the fuck out of there. Get out. Stay away. Just get out of there. Never ever try to hide if Observant is recently used, and additionally, it also applies if you've been recently hit by Void Rush, as if you have Hallucination, you're constantly highlighted, and the hallucination lasts a while, so hiding won't work. He will know where you are, and only try to hide after the laughing Noli face appears on your screen. Despite Hallucination not being a traditional highlight, you can still use undetectable abilities to make yourself not seen through the hallucination. But from what I assume is a bug, the Hallucination highlight overrides the LMS highlight, even if you're undetectable and the LMS highlight hasn't appeared. So if you time to Ghost Burger, clone, or crouch well, don't expect it to work for long, because the moment he teleports, he will probably know where you are. And yeah, that's general tips on how to play Noli and how to counter Noli from a level 100 Noli player. In my opinion, Noli is decently strong. Pretty strong. I thought he was weak when he first came out, but no, after playing him a lot, there honestly is not that much counterplay to him, just other than just not doing the fake generators like a dumbass, and you know, the classic dash ability counterplay. What do people say to close out videos? If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe or whatever. I don't care. I hope this helped you. Join my Discord server. Alright, bye. Guest 666 tomorrow.